Hey everyone, welcome back to the Craft Parenting Podcast, the podcast about two Cincinnati craft beer lovers with a parenting problem. My name is Joe Ludwig, and with me is my lovely wife and co-host, Caroline. How's it going?
This is weird.
This is the first time we've used the actual podcasting equipment since November.
Yeah. I mean, we did record a podcast like 2 days ago with podcast equipment, but that wasn't our podcast equipment or our podcast. So also there was fire. I missed the fire.
There was fire involved, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But this is the final Craft Parenting Podcast episode of 2022.
And since we don't have COVID this year and we have voices, we can actually record a week in review or a year in review instead of just Joe finding clips from the year and recording and making an episode.
Yeah, so 2022 was a big year. But first, we have adult beverages in front of us. The kids are napping, so we get to drink. And what are we drinking, Caroline?
We are drinking a coconut porter from Narrow Path Brewing. It is 6.2%, and it is smooth, rich, true hand-toasted organic coconut.
We went to Narrow Path for the first time a few weeks ago.
Well, the first time going inside Narrow Path. We longingly looked in the windows before they opened.
Yes.
And then played Pokemon Go.
As we were playing Pokemon Go in like 2016 or 2017. I think we discovered that it was February 2017.
Yeah.
That we were in Loveland playing Pokemon Go at the park.
As the cool kids do.
Yes, before kids. But we have this coconut porter. You said all that already. What do you think of it?
It's very delicious, and I would like more, but we need to drink down our beer fridge.
To drink down the beer fridge. Well, we might be partying tonight.
I think we're going to be partying tonight because we need to drink down the beer fridge.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a choice.
We might record some of that, maybe, if the kids let us.
Oh, there's a plan?
I don't know. You were going to what?
I thought I was going to be packing while I was drinking, and then it was going to be like mystery boxes when we unpacked. What did drunk Caroline put in the box?
No, it's a holiday, so we're not going to do that.
But joke's on sober Caroline, because drunk Caroline organizes even better than sober Caroline does.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to sober Caroline.
It really doesn't.
But the description is smooth, rich, true, hand-roasted organic coconut. Mm-hmm. Narrow Path is a nano brewery.
Yes.
It's in Loveland, Ohio.
And they're very big into locally sourced ingredients, if possible, if not as sustainably sourced as possible. But everything is organic. Because in an episode of the Brews Traveler Outcast podcast, the Brews Traveler talks about his beer at Narrow Path that is a coffee beer. And he bought like a bunch of the coffee that he loves. And he drinks a lot of it. And he brought in like 7 pounds of coffee that was very expensive because normally he only buys like a pound at a time. And the head brewer looks at him and says, "We can't use this coffee. It's not organic. And here's the additives that they put into it." So they had to use a different coffee.
Wow.
But they don't currently have that beer on draft. Otherwise, I would have gotten it. Because it's a Brunicorn for 2 different people on the Brews Traveler Outcast podcast.
I am behind on that.
I am slowly catching up.
There's only like 20 episodes, so it's not, but they're like 3 hours long.
Yeah, let's see here. I have to listen to their episode on...
I just listened to the Alabama one.
Yeah, I have to listen to their episode on Deadlow, which released a little over a week ago and is next in my podcast queue. So.
Okay. So we are going to talk about the 2022 year in review, but first, we're going to do a quick commercial. Hey everyone, Joe Ludwig here with the one and only Caroline.
Hey!
Before we get to the main topic of today's episode, we wanted to pause briefly and tell you about how you can support the show.
So if you enjoy listening to the podcast and reading our blog posts every week, then you now have the opportunity to support the show through Buy Me a Coffee. Here's what you need to know. It's super easy to do. You don't have to set up an account to contribute. You have options. Send us a one-time donation or sign up as a member to contribute on a monthly or yearly basis. Plus, you can unlock exclusive content.
To learn more about how you can support the Craft Parenting Podcast through Buy Me a Coffee, click the link in the show notes. And now, back to the show. And we're back.
That was quick.
We made it back. Still drinking the same thing. So let's talk about 2022 before the kids wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So 2022 was a very big year as far as our podcast went.
It was.
We celebrated our first anniversary in March. And that's about when we purchased a new mixer with some new microphones.
Which is really nice, and I'm a big fan of it, and I love the rainbow colors on it.
Yeah, so this mixer allows us to be a little more mobile than our original setup.
Mm-hmm.
We can use the battery pack. The other setup that we had to plug into a wall. And
we probably could have plugged it into a battery pack, but we would have needed an adapter that we did not have.
So this setup is great. It's kind of pricey, but I think it was well worth it.
If it makes your life easier, and I think it does, it could.
Yeah. But we also had a ton of guests on this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Julia took over for me one day because I was sick.
Yeah.
That was annoying.
We went to...
Y'all hung out at Westside without me.
Well...
For the record, I did tell you that you guys were allowed to record without me.
You were busy sleeping.
I was very busy sleeping. I think I slept for like 3 hours in the middle of the day, and I never do that.
You had a couple of powwows with the moms.
Yes, we had some mom powwows. We have to schedule another one of those. Now that we're going to have a pickler triangle in our basement so the kids can do more death-defying acts while we record. That was like one of the best parts of recording in the basement was before the kids all went to bed, we just hear like running around and stomping, and then we'd hear like a big thud and like, oh no! And we're like, yeah, they're fine.
Well, we have
dads are upstairs.
Yeah, we have carpet, so it was they're fine.
Yeah.
It's when you have like tile and you hear thuds,
that's when it gets a little scary.
Yeah, but carpet's okay for the most part. Who else did we have on? I had we had Tony.
Yep, Tony came back. Brian and Graham came back. We drank a ton of beers with Brian and Graham. I think we drank more beers than we drank during our Christmas episode in 2021 with Brian and Graham.
Well, we shared a 6-pack.
Yeah, we shared a 6-pack and then like had the hugest beers in our beer fridge.
Yeah.
Good decisions were made that night.
Mac was there. I interviewed Mac about fatherhood. Who else do we have on?
You're putting me on the spot.
Julia came on twice.
Yeah.
From Truth Beer Pod. Chris from Shift Beers came on.
Oh, yeah, you talked to Chris.
Brock from the Stay at Home Dads group.
Yeah, and now he is the event coordinator for Dead Low Brewing. So that's super exciting. We had Molly on via phone.
Yeah.
Because we talked to her about how many animals she has living at her house. Spoilers, it was a lot. But that was a really good informative episode too.
We're testing out the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And also this year we did a bunch of bonus episodes.
So many bonus episodes.
So I don't know that we can sustain that necessarily as our life gets even crazier and crazier.
But I can foresee us, like, what I would like to do one day is, like, sit Lily down in front of a microphone and ask her a bunch of questions. Now that she, like, is definitely more vocal about what she likes and what she doesn't like. But the problem is she's just going to say, I don't know, every time we ask her a question, because that's what she does. Like, what was your favorite part about going to the train place today? I don't know. Well, what'd you do at the train place? I don't know. She's a three-nager.
You went to, well, you originally said it was Cleveland, but
I went to Canton.
It wasn't Cleveland.
Yeah. So I hit some new breweries up with my coworker. That was lots of fun.
So you went into the field and we recorded via the phone,
mm-hmm.
which we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have this equipment.
Yeah. Or at least it wouldn't sound as good.
Yeah, I could put you on speaker and I could hold you up to my microphone.
Yeah, or we could just like record separately on our own phones while we're on a phone call. And then you would have to try to piece that together. You would hate it.
That would be very bad. We recorded a lot at West Side.
West Side.
To the point where they recognize me now.
Well, they're down the street.
Yeah. But we also recorded at High Grain.
Mm-hmm.
We recorded at the door. Well, I recorded at the door across the street from West Side because we got kicked out because of the trivia.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of trivia people were angry, so they got their pitchforks and.
I'm just glad you made it home alive. That was the important thing.
Chased us out. Yep. So some like numbers to this.
Mm-hmm.
We recorded 76 episodes.
Oh, snap.
Of the Craft Parenting Podcast.
That's more than one a week.
That is more than one a week. And that's with us missing a few weeks here and there.
Yeah, even with missing weeks. We picked a few up, so it was okay.
So we did a lot of bonus episodes. 14 of those 76 were released, including this one, in December.
Well, I mean, technically it should have been 26 episodes in December, but then life happened. So we combined some beer episodes.
26?
Because we were supposed to have 25 beer episodes, and then this one would be 26.
Oh, we did combine, but yeah, I mean, I figured we would have to do that.
Yeah, that's what happens when your brother decides to get married at the beginning of the month. So you can't drink beer for 4 or 5 days because you're too busy recovering from all of the free alcohol you were drinking.
We surpassed 2,000 total downloads in November, and we are currently on our way to 2,500.
Woohoo!
So that is...
Thank you.
A phenomenal achievement. For some reason, our YouTube is doing really well. We're almost at 4,300 views on YouTube.
It's because my What's Bugging Caroline and children's TV segments are thebomb.com. And I need to start taking notes for that again. But I've been busy, so I haven't been watching TV with the kids as much. I wouldn't say that the kids are watching less TV, just that I am watching less TV with them.
So, yeah, 4,300 views on YouTube. Like you said, I've been cutting some of our... There's no actual video. It's just audio clips.
But it's got the fun waveforms.
Oh, yeah. It takes me forever to do that, by the way. I have to upload the audio to the program. The program kicks it back to me like in a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's so slow, but that's how I get I have to design the thumbnail.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate you
in Photoshop, and then I have to put it into Adobe Premiere and then create an outro. So that's how we get the outro. So we have 36 episodes.
Oh, your face blurred. You looked real creepy.
39 episodes of the What's Bugging Caroline in Children's TV, which is, this is episode 87.
Yes. That is what we determined.
So we have more, but I stopped paying for the Headliner app. So I don't think I can do any more of that, but we might.
We might start videoing.
We might, yeah. I mean, if I can figure it out, we might experiment with some live stream.
The gnome didn't scare you away. The producer's producing.
The producers protecting the podcasting studio, making sure no one makes any noise.
Yep. So we also launched a Buy Me a Coffee account where you, the viewers, can support the show, which is super fun. We were guests on... Were we guests on Shift Beers this year? Was that this year?
That was in March.
Oh, man, that feels like forever ago.
It does feel like forever ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, we were guests on Shift Beers, Truth, Beer, and Consequences, and Drinking with a Gnome.
Separately, so you were a guest and I was a guest.
Well, so Shift Beers, we managed to get a sitter. And Drinking with a Gnome, we managed to get a sitter.
Yeah.
Against their will, but we managed to get a sitter. They offered, so we took up that offer before they could rescind it. But then Truth, Beer, and Consequences, we took separate nights. So we could have somebody, one of us could watch the kids while the other one is drinking. And we didn't do a live podcast, but we were guests on Drinking with the Gnome, which is live streamed. We were in the audience for Truth, Beer, and Consequences live shows and the Gnomes live shows. And sometimes you can hear us in the background.
Yeah, I think
I was on camera for one of them.
One of our stretch goals for this year was to do a live show.
It was according to our show notes from last year's New Year's resolution show.
Yeah. So I would count the Drinking with the Gnome as a live show, even though it wasn't craft parenting.
And we just kind of snuck ourselves in. We showed up. Unlike whoever it was that was supposed to show up to record with him originally.
Oh, was someone supposed to show up?
Yeah.
Really?
But we were there with Julia, so we made it all better.
He was supposed to show up.
I don't know. He didn't say. So I can't give you the tea because I don't know.
You don't know the tea.
No.
Is that a saying? I guess it's a saying. It is now.
Okay, boomer. Yes, that's a saying. Spill the tea. I mean, that's an old saying, though. I don't know if the kids are still saying that. Like, kids don't say yeet anymore, but I still say yeet. So...
We know someone whose name is Yeet.
We do, but it's spelled differently.
So that's confusing.
Sure.
So we have some personal milestones as well.
Yeah. So for our little boy Elliot, who is not so little anymore, he turned 1 in February. He literally runs after his sister or away from her. I
think he started. We were discussing this before we recorded, but I think at the beginning of the year he was more crawling than walking.
Yeah, but
or he might have been like stumbling.
Yeah, like a few steps here or there.
But yeah, he was like just getting on his 2 feet. Mm-hmm. Trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And these days he like literally runs.
He does. He got his first haircut in May, which your father said was his favorite birthday present ever. And I was like, even better than your son who was born 2 weeks after your birthday? No, never mind. It's my second favorite birthday present. I called him out. He's getting new words all of the time and he loves to say them. So like I was changing his diaper today and he like shows me his hand and says hand and then shows me his other hand and says hand. And then shows me the first hand and says hand. And I'm like, yeah, bud, those are your hands. And then while he's eating his snack of cheese and crackers, he's like, cracker, and shows me the cracker. And I'm like, yeah, bud, that's your cracker. And then he shows me another cracker and he says cracker. And I'm like, yeah, bud, that's your cracker. And then he shows me his salami and says cracker. And I'm like, no, bud, that's salami, but good try. So then he picks up his cheese and says cheese. And I'm like, yeah, bud, that's cheese. So he
says sissy too.
Yeah, he says sissy all the time. So he's getting more words And it's so cute.
He yells Clara. Clara.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if Zoe really registers on his radar, but Clara is the one whose name he says all the time. Regardless of which dog he's talking about, it's Clara. And he really wants to get out of his crib, but we're making him stay in there a little bit longer. Like, Lily never tried to get out of her crib, but granted, she wasn't in a crib this long. She moved to a pack and play, and that was a lot harder to get out of. But Elliot is stuck in that crib at least another month or two. I'm going to get as much time out of that crib as I can. And while he still adores his big sister, he wants to do more things on his own and is starting to stand up for himself. He still needs some assistance from time to time, but like Lily took his dinosaur Susan because she's like, I want to dance with Susan. And he's just running after her screaming. And I'm like, no, you have to give him back his Susan because he does not want to share his dinosaur with you right now. Just like sometimes you don't want to share your toys with him. So he doesn't have to share toys with you if he doesn't want to. And you don't have to share just because you don't have to share toys with him if you don't want to. That's a two-way street, girlfriend.
That's another thing that I did not list on the stock. He's become obsessed with dinosaurs and trains.
The show Dinosaur Train blows his little mind. We recently went to Entertainment Junction, and people that do not know him commented that he looks broken because he didn't know where to look. He didn't know what to do.
He was a little overwhelmed.
So overwhelmed and like pointing at all of the trains saying, choo choo, choo choo. He had a blast. And then your mom took him to the museum center, which I had taken him to before. And he likes the trains at the museum center. But they also have Christmas trains at the museum center that are more up close and bigger. And he had a blast with those as well. So, yeah. They say when you turn 4, you have to pick one thing and be obsessed with it for the rest of your life. I mean, like make your whole personality about it. And it's like dinosaurs, trains, space, and something else. I don't remember what they are, but Elliot's already got 2 of them down pat. And I don't know which one's going to win.
Hopefully it's the trains.
Yeah, I think part of it is because for Christmas, he got a shirt that said, "Too, too," and it's like, it looks like the smoke coming out of a train because there's a train on the front of the shirt. So we're pretty sure his birthday party is going to be train themed, but we haven't done anything with that yet. We'll get there.
That's in February.
Yeah, we got a month and a half.
We got time. So yeah, that's Elliot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lily had a very big year.
She did.
In January, you went to IKEA and got her a big girl loft bed. Which
we have not lofted yet, but we're debating about when we're going to do that. And she loves her big girl bed. Elliot loves her big girl bed.
So it's like a twin bed.
Mm-hmm. It's twin bed.
So when instead of the toddler bed, which we originally had, which she did not stay in.
No, she did not enjoy the toddler bed.
So we upgraded her to a twin bed, which we can sleep in.
Yeah, so when she wakes up in the middle of the night, we can go lay in her bed with her instead of her taking up 3/4 of our bed.
Also last year, after we all got COVID, we took away the binkies.
Yep, and we said, bye-bye, Binky. And now she sucks her finger.
Yes, I don't know if that's any better or worse.
And the hope was that she would stop needing that as a coping mechanism. And then we could give Elliot binkies to get him off of his thumb. But now I have to wean Lily off of her fingers and Elliot off of his thumbs at some point. And both kids like hot sauce. So good luck to us.
Yes.
Like they actively ask for hot sauce when we're eating food. And we have to limit how much hot sauce they are allowed to have.
Right. Not like Julia's hot sauce.
No, it's like you're just standard run-of-the-mill
like
Frank's Red Hot.
Frank's Red Hot, yeah, like the original.
And they get like 3 drops.
Although, I bet Julia would let us raid her cabinet.
She might.
And put it on their fingers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that... CPS might come after us for that, because I think she has like intense stuff.
We got to be careful about that one.
Also, in the summer, like late summer, she became potty trained.
It is the best. Makes life so much easier when we're trying to leave the house.
We stopped doing the diapers, like traditional diapers, probably April or May.
I would say closer to August. Maybe
She did the 360.
Oh, yeah. We moved to the 360 and then we moved to pull-ups.
Yeah. So the tape diapers she didn't wear. She stopped wearing like in April.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the 360 and then to the pull-ups and then to culture like underwear.
Big girl underwear. And now she's all potty trained.
And then she turned 3 in September.
She's so old.
Yeah, I know. And then right before she turned 3, actually, she went to preschool.
We did have a break from preschool, but we have been rocking preschool ever since she came back.
And we're going to do an entire episode about preschool.
Yeah. There's so many crafts in our house from preschool, and I love them all. It's the best.
And the preschool plague, which...
so much preschool plague.
She missed Halloween and the Christmas concert.
Yep.
But she went to the Christmas party.
She did go to the Christmas party, and that was the important thing.
And she is just someone who wants to help with everything.
You have to give her a job.
Like you baked cookies,
Mm-hmm.
and she wanted to help with that. She wants to help with dinner. She wants to help, do everything.
And you cannot give her a fake job. She knows if you have given her a fake job and that her job does not contribute. You have to give her something that actively contributes towards the task. Otherwise, she gets real mad at you.
Yeah.
And says, no, I want help. She's so cute.
So having said that, Caroline and I, we had some goals that we set out to complete back in January. This was, and we highlighted all of these goals in episode 42?
43.
43.
I was looking that up.
We highlighted all these goals in episode 43.
Yep. So one of my goals was to hit 12 hikes, ideally one hike a month. I hit 12 hikes back in October and have not had a hike since. But we hit the 12 hikes. Everybody got sick, which totally changed our plans. And then our life got crazy, which we'll talk about in a little bit. We did manage to go to Indiana with the kids, which at least Elliot hadn't been to Indiana before.
So what was your goal?
Totally counts. Oh, yeah. The goal was to take the kids to one new state. Indiana is a new state, right? I'm like 75% sure that the kids had not been to Indiana.
I don't think they have.
Yeah. So
where would we go in Indiana?
I don't know. So I don't think we went. Because we would have gone to the Children's Museum or something like that. And we have not been to the Children's Museum in Indianapolis with the kids. So we went to Indiana with the kids. So they hit a new state, even if it wasn't like Montana or like Tennessee or something. And then we almost hit Joe's goal of getting to 12 breweries. Do you want to list off the breweries and then I'll give our excuse for why we didn't hit 12?
Yeah, so our goal this year was to go out to 12 new to us breweries. And this was a list based on the list. The base of the list was not the Gnarly Gnomes list, which he keeps track of all the breweries in the Cincinnati area. So that was the base of the list, and then I added and deleted as needed, because he had like Mad Tree 1.0 on the list.
And you can't visit that anymore.
Because although technically I've been to it, but that doesn't even apply. But it was on his list. I think the Rheingeist location, their second location, that's like a business location.
Oh yeah, like they're just straight brewery / distribution center.
Yeah, so he has that on his list as well.
But you can't drink a beer there legally.
Right, as a consumer. But so I took that off the list, I think. So I made some tweaks for that. But we made it out to 11 new to us breweries, which includes Wiedemann's Fine Beer and Tap Room. That's a fun one. That was a good one.
That was.
Lily, I don't think they had enough high chairs, so Lily was kind of crazy.
And that was like pre-Lily being able to not be in a high chair and be okay.
Yeah.
Like without trying to run around everywhere.
So she kind of was a hot mess. But...
Yeah, a little bit.
And then we went to Humble Monk Brewing, Rebel Metal Brewing, rest in peace, Third Eye Brewing, Wooden Cask Brewing, Alexandria Brewing, Swine City Brewing, High Grain Brewing, Deadlow Brewing, Narrow Path Brewing, Warped Wings Mason location, which is like a brew pub.
Mm-hmm.
And I still need to write about our experience at Narrow Path and Warped Wing. So
yeah,
I have 2 blogs coming.
Yeah, and the goal was to go to Northern Row, but we went to Chris Kindle Market first and ended up hanging out with Julia and the gnome too long, so we could not go to Northern Row, the other one that starts with an N.
Which is fine. I mean, we had a great time.
We did. We had a blast.
We drank a lot of beer.
He brought out the poker and a butane tank, so we got to poke a bunch of beers. They were so toasty and good. You should really listen to the Drinking with the Gnome episode where he talked. I don't know what he's going to call it because he hasn't posted it yet.
His kid is at Children's.
Yeah, one of his children is at Children's Hospital right now. He said everything's okay. But then but just everything was going to be delayed. And I'm like, well, but one of your children is far away from home. So you do what you got to do, boo. So yes, that was a lot of fun to record. And we were not expecting that. So we got to see Greg Hardman and Jim. I think his name is Jim or John, the guy who does all the artwork for the Logger House. I think it was Jim.
I thought it was Jim.
Yeah.
But I could be mistaken. What other goals did we accomplish this year?
So one of my goals was to finish some craft projects, maybe. And I did finish some craft projects, but I might have started more craft projects than I finished. So I don't think I did that one. And now all of my craft stuff is packed. So
I mean, you have an entire cabinet full of yarn.
Yeah. And I've made some stuff with it, but not enough stuff.
I don't think it's packed.
It's not yet, but we'll get there.
And you said the house is cleaner?
It is. The house is cleaner and less cluttered, but that's because we're moving and like 3/4 of the kids' toys are packed in boxes and my whole craft closet is packed in boxes. And then we have to unpack all these boxes at the new house, or at least most of them. We'll see.
We'll just take another 8 years to unpack everything.
I think we've only got like 1 or 2 boxes that we never really unpacked when we moved into this house. But that was like old high school stuff that our parents were like, here, put this in a box and take to your new house. And then it's just still sitting in that box.
That doesn't count. That's not something that you unpack.
This is true. So we had unpacked all of our boxes from moving before we started packing more boxes to move. So we're going to be a little crazy over the next 2 weeks because we're going to close on our new house and close on our current house and move our whole life from the west side to even more west side.
Yeah.
I haven't done the Google Maps on it yet. I think we're going to be equidistant from 13 below and west side, or we might be a little bit closer to 13 below.
I think we're closer to 13
We're probably
below.
closer to 13 below, but we're still very much on the west side. That's not changing.
Yeah. So Marco, if you go to our new house.
I don't think Marco's going to come to the new house because it's too west side for him.
It's very far away. Someone will have to Uber you or drive you.
Just get to Julia's house and then Julia can drive you. So yeah, but other goals that we had were to get more active in the podcasting community, which I'm pretty sure we did. We have way more friends now. We attended the live podcast. We got more active on the weekly pint when the kids let us. So like when our kids and the gnomes kids cooperated, we could all do the weekly pint together. But sometimes his kids didn't cooperate. Sometimes our kids didn't cooperate. Usually those weeks didn't line up though. And we've made some new Cincy podcasting friends. So it's exciting.
And in 2023, is there anything you want to say about your goals for 2023?
I still want to do 12 hikes.
Yeah.
I should still finish more craft projects as a goal and try to close some stuff out.
Podcasting goals, not craft.
Let's schedule all of the guest podcasts that we had scheduled for when us/the kids were sick. I think there was only one really that we missed, but I want to record an episode with Julia. We can find some other excuse to go to Westside. I'm sure of it. Maybe get Lily on a podcast just to see how that would roll. I think that'd be pretty, if we could have because I don't want to exploit Lily and be one of those people that's everything we do is going to involve the small children. I would rather tell appropriate stories about my child and
curated stories.
It's curated stories. It's not hey, let me just vlog about my whole life. But I do the more I'm thinking about it, I do kind of want to do a Lily centric episode where we sit down with Lily and Lily drives the whole show. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's half an hour. I don't know, but I think that would be lots of fun.
Okay.
I mean, she likes listening to us. Because when we put the podcast on in the car, she's like, oh, it's Mommy and Daddy.
And we watched us on YouTube this morning.
Yeah.
Because she woke up at 7. I'm I'm I don't know. I want to sleep. I want to stay in bed.
Here, watch Mommy and Daddy drink a bunch of beers while you were at your Uncle Josh and Aunt Becky's house.
I don't think she could see the beers.
It was pretty dark.
Yeah.
We weren't in a gnome dome. Because fire. What about you?
That was that's probably a good thing that we weren't in the gnome dome because of the fire. So I still want to get out. So I want to get to that 12th brewery in January. I think we can go with Brian and Graham maybe.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because they live around the corner from Northern Row. And then I want to write those 3 blogs. I think I want to explore bottle shops.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
So there's a Delhi Liquor. There's the Marathon.
Yep.
Those are the 2 by us. Of course, there's Higher Gravity, Summit Park, and Northside. BC's Liberty is technically a bottle shop, but they're turning into a brewery. So I don't know what's going to happen to that.
It still counts as a bottle shop until they turn into a brewery.
Okay. Well, I don't know when they said Q1, so I don't know. I don't know if
we'll figure it out.
I don't know if that's on track or not. I'm gonna guess it's probably not on track.
It's not official until the gnome does a podcast with them. How about that?
Okay.
They count as a bottle shop until the gnome does a podcast with them.
Well, I want to clarify. I think it's probably not on track because of the government. Because the government.
That's usually the case.
The government,
Taxation is that.
Anything else? So I do want to explore options to live stream. I have no idea where to even start with that.
Facebook Live is a thing.
Well, we have a camera. We have a camcorder, like a handheld digital. I think it's a Sony.
It is, because I bought it before one of our vacations.
We bought it before our wedding.
Oh, yeah, that was before our wedding.
That's
right.
Which then we did go on a vacation.
So that counts.
Honeymoon, if a honeymoon is a vacation.
That was definitely a vacation.
Yeah.
No children, lots of wine, lots of really yummy food.
Yeah.
Super vacation.
So I do want to kind of explore that a little bit. I do want to do a live show. I don't know what that looks like or what the logistics are about that.
You need to contact Jim at Fretboard.
Yes. if they're still doing that.
I'm pretty sure they are.
I have no idea what we would talk about.
Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Taxation is theft. I don't know.
But if we don't make the Russian patron at the bar storm out and discuss, I think we're okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement, even though I was not there for that.
So yeah, I think those are the things that I want to do, but we'll see what happens because life is unpredictable.
And small children are very unpredictable.
Do you think Elliot would go to preschool this year? Probably not.
No.
He would wait a year.
He's got to wait a year, yeah, because he would be 2.5, and most preschools don't take them until they are 1 or 3.
So
because they've taken 2.5-year-olds before and it did not go well.
So he will stay home for another 1.5 years.
Yep.
And then Lily will continue to go to preschool.
Yep, because she'll be 4.
In the
and
fall.
then it'll be the question of whether when Elliot goes to preschool, she goes to kindergarten or she is still in preschool.
Yeah, does she get the pre-K treatment that I got?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
So yeah, life is moving on. I think we could have quite a few guests.
I think so too.
We would have to figure that out with schedules and stuff. But I think with the new house, we'll have a dedicated podcasting space.
I think so too.
Potentially.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah. So we can just leave the podcasting equipment out.
And just say, hey, come over for some beers. Once at least one of the children falls asleep, we can go do stuff.
At least once. At least one.
Yeah.
Why at least one?
Lily might be more independent by then. I don't know.
But yeah, I think that does it, right?
I believe so. That was all the points that we wanted to hit.
So that does it for this week's show. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on the social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can follow us at Craft Parenting Podcast. And sincerely, thank you all for listening to us this year. And we look forward to making 2023 bigger and better. We will be celebrating our 2nd year anniversary in March.
Yes, our 2nd anniversary, as most people say it.
What did I say?
You said 2nd year anniversary. 2-year anniversary or 2nd anniversary.
Our 2nd anniversary will be in March. So that is a very big milestone. Also, our official 100th episode will be in March as well.
Snap.
So that's why we did all the points in December.
So we wouldn't mess that up.
So we would get to 100 near our 2nd anniversary.
Osina's app. If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. Make sure to share the show. It's what helps our show grow. If you'd like to send us stuff such as fan mail, craft supplies, or sanity, we have a P.O. box. And thank you, dear listener, for being here. I wanted to say something too.
All this information is available on our website, www.craftparentingpodcast.com.
That's where we post the show notes, plus blog posts about some of the stuff that doesn't make it in the podcast. Maybe I'll be better about that. Maybe I won't. We'll see.
And if you want to follow me personally on Instagram, I am at craftparentingjoe.
And I am at Caroline Creates Crafts on Instagram.
And with that, I'm Joe.
And I'm Caroline.
See you next time on the Craft Parenting Podcast, and Happy New Year.